A very good morning, everyone. Welcome to the briefing on Saturday, the 5th of it is still August 2023. Would you believe it? Feels a lot more like November. Well, looking at the chart, we see, chances of flying today are going to be a bit slim. We've got this low pressure system directly over the top of us, bringing with it very strong winds that you'd all noticed by now. Tightly packed isobars and various fronts around. Going ahead to midnight tonight, you see that's passed over sort of onto mainland Europe, and we're left with a fairly strong northerly, maybe northwesterly flow. We can further ahead to tomorrow, just about sat on this area of high pressure, and hopefully there should be a bit more of a reasonable day. Looking further ahead, area of high pressure on Monday, which could lead to quite a reasonable soaring day, and hopefully some slightly more settled weather next week. Weather warnings today for strong winds, pretty much all day long. Winds 25 to 30 knots. You notice the direction changing here. So we've got southwesterly early this morning, westerly mid-afternoon, and then northwesterly. I expect that's later on, so up to 7 p.m. Also, weather warning for thunderstorms as well. So not the nicest of days. Spot winds today. Well, towards the centre of the country, you see it's quite light. Probably where that low pressure is passing over, but towards more the south coast, we're looking at 45 knots at flying height, and very variable. This is saying westerly, starting off southwesterly, going westerly as this low pressure system goes over the top of us, and then going around to the northwest. SatPic, you can't really see that low pressure system at the moment, but you can see there's a lot of rain and cloud cover over the majority of the country at the moment. And the rain radar is picking that up, showing quite a lot of rain over everywhere, really. Some gaps around, and the worst of the rain appearing to be slightly more over the northern parts of the country. The forecast is showing a pretty wet outlook all day. If we go ahead a couple of hours, you see it's pretty much rainy all day. 3 o'clock looks like a bit more of a clearance around, with essentially a gap here, 3 to 4 o'clock. But you can see even in the gaps, some scattered showers developing. So a fairly poor day, to be honest. And then the rain clearing up at about 7 p.m. or so. Public forecast showing much the same. Rain all day with some thunderstorms mid-afternoon. That'll be those scattered showers developing a bit bigger. I think that's a little bit pessimistic. I don't think we're going to get thunderstorms in the Lasham area, but we might do. Wind gusts quite strong this morning, then a little bit more slack throughout the afternoon as that low pressure is more over the top of us, and then really quite breezy again this evening. So maybe a 10 or 20% chance of flying at 3 or 4 o'clock in a gap where the wind is a bit lighter. Current view outside is pretty miserable, and temperature's 12 degrees with a dew point of 9. And Farnborough's latest observation, few clouds at 900 to about 700 feet above Lasham, and very much covering themselves with the forecast. It's pretty much saying what I've said. Winds quite strong, changing as the low pressure goes through, and the chance of thunderstorms throughout the day. No TAMs, there's nothing to affect it. We do go flying. We'll be very much staying in the circuit. See number 19 here directly over the top of Lasham. That's our no TAM for our major gliding competition. So operationally, it's pretty unlikely that we do go flying today. If we do, I expect by the time it will be flyable, we'll be looking at a westerly wind. So launch point will be positioned here with cables running this way. But as I mentioned, that's pretty unlikely. Winching only because the competition is very much scrubbed for today. On that note, for those of you that haven't experienced it before, or just as a reminder, competition or cloud flying during competitions. When the comp is going, it's aerotow only, no winching because it gets too complicated. We have a reduced rate aerotow for those that are winch current or under instruction in Lasham gliders, and that's £25 to 1,500 feet. Otherwise, it's normal rates. Ignore that today. Comp launching usually 11 a.m. onwards, not p.m. And during that time, club launching is stopped for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, depending on how big the comp grid is. Beware, lots of gliders around. obviously not today. And I remember finishing gliders will be coming straight in, not necessarily flying a standard circuit. So if there is anyone around this afternoon, there's a very slim chance it might be a gap where we could do a few winch launches in, but otherwise pretty unlikely today. So people are more than welcome to come along to fly the simulator. I'll see you on the airfield. Bye for now.